Hi, welcome to Once Upon a Screen Time. It's movie day, and today I am doing two parts, a movie and a sequel. I'm gonna be starting with 21 Jump Street, followed by its sequel, which will be in the description. Let's go. Once upon a time, in a magical land called 21 Jump Street, there existed a top secret police division staffed by high school students. Just kidding. Police officers pretending to be high school students. It was a division that made the brilliant decision to stop drug rings, not with seasoned detectives, but with grown adults who barely passed high school the first time. Why? Because apparently there's no better way to break up a teenage drug ring than to infiltrate it with people in their late 20s, who definitely still look like they're in their late 20s. Welcome to 21 Jump Street, the story of Schmidt and Jenko, two bumbling rookie cops who get a second chance at high school, except this time they have to worry about drugs, mean girls, and trying not to blow their cover in the first 5 minutes. This is a story of friendship, questionable decisions, and a lot of throwback high school tropes that make no sense in the real world, but make for a wildly entertaining ride. Our fairy tale begins with Schmidt and Jenko, two men who never should have made it out of police academy, let alone into an undercover assignment. Schmidt was the brainy but socially doomed student back in high school, the kind of kid who rocked braces, bad hair, and zero athletic ability. Jenko, on the other hand, was the classic jock whose muscles made him popular, but whose grades were barely high enough to let him graduate. Years later, they reunite as rookie cops, bonding over their mutual incompetence and shared desire to actually do something meaningful. When they are offered an assignment to go undercover at high school, they jump at the chance, mainly because nobody has told them that it's a truly terrible idea. Together, they are sent to infiltrate high school drug ring by posing as students. Armed with fresh new student identities, Schmidt and Jenko are ready to take on the high school drug scene. Also, they think. From the moment they set foot on campus, it's clear that they are both a bit out of touch with the modern teenage experience. Jenko, still living in 2005, assumes that jocks still rule the school. Nerds cower in fear, and coolness is defined by how many fights you win. Schmidt, on the other hand, is just hoping he can survive the week without anyone realizing he's an undercover cop with a tendency to sweat profusely when nervous. But to their surprise, high school has changed. The cool kids are environmentally conscious, talk about their feelings, and listen to indie music. Schmidt finds himself falling in with the popular crowd, while Jenko, the former jock, ends up hanging out with the science nerds and learning about chemical compounds. It's a fish out of water scenario for both of them, and their attempts to blend in are as cringe-worthy as they are hysterical. Every fairy tale needs a quest, and in 21 Jump Street, our hero's mission is to find the supplier of the new synthetic drug called HFS. HFS is the hottest thing on campus, and its effects include uncontrollable laughter, hallucination, and overwhelming sense of euphoria. In other words, it's a drug that turns anyone that takes it into a giggling lunatic. To fit in, they get close to the dealers. Schmidt and Jenko make the wise decision to take the drug themselves, because nothing says responsible law enforcement like tripping out in the middle of a high school hallway. What follows is a surreal sequence of distorted faces, dancing, and Schmidt drawing inappropriate things on a whiteboard in front of a teacher. Their little experiment ends with both of them laughing uncontrollably, and it's clear that they are no closer to cracking the case. They're just a lot closer to detention. In a hilarious twist of fate, Schmidt, the former high school outcast, finds himself hanging out with the cool kids, while Jenko is stuck in chemistry class. It's a complete role reversal, and neither of them handles it well. Schmidt gets sucked into the popular crowd, especially when he starts getting close to Molly, a girl who thinks he's misunderstood instead of an undercover cop with a fake name. Meanwhile, Jenko, who has zero chemistry knowledge, is trying to understand scientific formulas while also being humiliated by his nerdy new classmates. This experience humbles him a bit, though, as he starts to realize that maybe high school isn't about being popular, it's about learning, or well, maybe it's just about surviving without totally humiliating yourself. As Schmidt gets more absorbed in his high school persona, he starts forgetting why he's even there in the first place. He's doing everything to impress Molly and her friends, while Jenko is getting more and more annoyed that Schmidt is ignoring their actual mission. The two start bickering, and their once solid friendship begins to crack under the pressure of teenage drama and their conflicting undercover roles. The tension finally erupts when Schmidt throws a massive party at his parents' house to impress his new high school friends. What was supposed to be a low-key gathering turns into a chaotic rager that ends with trashed furniture, a call to the police, and Jenko and Schmidt at each other's throats. Their bromance is on the rocks. And it's not clear if they'll be able to put their differences aside long enough to complete the mission. In every high school movie, the climax happens at prom, and 21 Jump Street is no exception. Schmidt and Jenko, having hit rock bottom in their friendship, are forced to work together one last time as they close in on the supplier. As they crash the prom, they finally confront the dealer and the supplier in an explosive showdown complete with fistfights, confessions, and a lot of broken glass. Prom night is full of chaos, including a car chase that somehow manages to stay on school property. Schmidt and Jenko's friendship is put on the ultimate test, but in the end, they prove that even the most mismatched partners can make it work, especially when they're armed and really angry. The case is cracked, the supplier is arrested, and the high schoolers are saved from another batch of HFS. It's a picture-perfect ending. Sort of. With the case closed, Schmidt and Jenko return to the police force as heroes, having successfully shut down the high school drug ring and somehow managed not to ruin their lives in the process. They've learned a few valuable lessons, like the importance of friendship, the dangers of trying too hard to fit in, and that maybe high school wasn't as terrible as they remembered, although it was still pretty awful. In the end, Schmidt and Jenko's bond is stronger than ever, and they are ready for whatever ridiculous undercover assignment the police force throws at them next. Their time at 21 Jump Street may be over, but they know that their bromance will survive anything, even another stint in high school. Moral of the story: if somehow you manage to make it through high school twice, you are probably ready for anything that life throws at you. And so we reach the end of our fairy tale. 21 Jump Street is a modern-day adventure where the heroes are anything but heroic. The mission is ridiculous, and the lessons learned are a little questionable. Schmidt and Jenko may be terrible at their jobs, but they're even worse at being high school students, which somehow makes them perfect undercover cops for the task. This is a story of friendship, identity crises, and the bizarre reality of going back to high school as an adult. So if you're ever feeling tempted to relive your glory days, remember the chaos Schmidt and Jenko endured, and maybe settle for watching from afar. Because in this fairy tale, the true happily ever after is just getting out alive and finding out you're going to college. I'll see you in the sequel. Bye.